Hello viewers, welcome back to Get Well, Stay Well. I am getting well and I'm staying well, Felicity, thanks to your lovely juices.
It's on the energy drink, there you are, you see, it's doing you a lot of good side.
I'm feeling the energy. Viewers, hold tight. This could be a rocky half an hour. Here we go. So we're dedicating this last half an hour to your emails and your text messages, so details are going to be on screen. We're also on Twitter. We're trying to plug Twitter. You can tweet us, hashtag #GetWellStayWell. You can also tweet me directly to my Twitter account, it's @CyrusFernando, and I'll try and see if I can read some of your tweets on air. Right, Felicity, I'm going to start off with an email that my mother Barbara received, okay?
Right, good.
And she says, you must say this on air. So as all good children do, they listen to their mother.
Yeah, well done, Barbara.
So this is a friend of hers. She said, please pass on this testimony to Cyrus and Felicity. She says in her email, they did an item on aloe vera and said it would help with breathing problems. So having asthma all my life and taking inhalers every day, I thought I would try what they said and bought an aloe vera plant for every room that I stay in a lot of the time. I know the aloe vera plant works because after a few weeks, I now only take my inhalers roughly once a week instead of twice a day. Thank you to Cy and Felicity for all your information that you give out on your programme. Keep up the good work and love with the Lord, and God bless. And that's from Valerie. Thank you so much, Valerie.
Oh, thank you, Valerie. It's really good to hear that. And I remember doing the programme, and we had all these different plants that you can use. The aloe vera is a really wonderful plant to have, because if you burn yourself in the kitchen, you can also cut a little bit off and put it on the burn, which heals very quickly. So really important to clean the air in our rooms with some beautiful plants. I have a beautiful plant beside my computer, and I'm sure that it's protecting me quite a lot. So I'm really delighted to hear your breathing's better. I hope you've come off the milk as well, the milk and the dairy, because that will really help with the breathing. The two things are really important.
Just reiterate to our viewers, obviously we always have new viewers on Revelation, and we have talked about milk and dairy previously, but just remind our viewers, why is it important that we avoid milk and dairy?
Well, you know, we've all been brought up with the culture that, you know, milk is wonderful for us and builds the healthy bones. In fact, it turns to an acid in the body, and then the body has to take calcium from somewhere to alkalize it, and it takes it from the bones. So in fact, that's why people are osteoporotic, because they have had a lot of dairy, and it has actually destroyed the bones. It honeycombs the bones. And this is all coming out now because as people learn more, you know, we have much more sophisticated microscopes now. They're really beginning to understand how the cells work. And the milk actually makes mucoid plaque in the body. So it furs up arteries, it clogs the system, and definitely, you know, it's known as the MAD diet. Meat and dairy is the MAD diet, M-A-D. And so it's completely different to what I was brought up with and taught, and the way I brought up my children. But all we can do now, and that's why I teach the Get Well, Stay Well courses, because I think it's so important that this new information is taught, and that those who have ears will hear.
What alternatives are there for children, Felicity? Because obviously there are parents out there are watching, and they say, my child has been brought up on milk all his life.
Well, banana milk, you know, you just peel a banana, you blend that up with some water, you can put some other fruit in with it, and it tastes absolutely delicious. You can have rice milk. You can, as we say, soy milk is not particularly good, because now the soy is very often genetically modified. There's oat milk, there's all kinds of different milks, and there's nut milk, so you can do...
Coconut milk.
Coconut milk is great, absolutely. Wonderful. Okay,
let's get into some of these emails, Felicity. This is from Mabel. So hello, Mabel. Thank you very much for taking the time to text us in. Dear Felicity, I know today your topic is about the spine, but I would appreciate if you would throw some light on apricot kernels. It uses metabolism, effects on cancer cells, and how much per day?
Well, I learned about the apricot kernels when I was so ill 11 years ago with pancreatic cancer, and I read Philip Day's book, Cancer, Why We're Still Dying to Know the Truth, which is a wonderful book, in which a lot of people had got well with the apricot kernels. And the thing they have in them is hydrocyanic acid, which is also in the apple seeds and the grape seeds. And it is a natural way of killing cancer cells, because cancer cells have a special protein covering that it's very difficult to penetrate. That's why it's difficult to get rid of cancer. But this natural thing, which the hydrocyanic acid, this has been expounded for 100 years by Professor John Beard, Edinburgh University, and Dr. Ernst Krebs, and many doctors. And we do know that these wonderful seeds that God has provided for us actually do prevent cancer and can cure it. And I certainly had the intravenous lateral done for me by a doctor, as directed from Mexico, from my doctor Francisco Contreras. And lo and behold, it's got me well, and it's got thousands of other people well as well. And people are frightened when they hear the word cyanide, but of course it is cyanide pills, completely different thing, you know. This is nature's a little amount. You see how small the seeds are compared to the apple, and God has put it in a perfect matrix with just the right amount of the seeds. So I now live, I always have a couple of apples a day, and of course I eat the seeds.
Okay, fantastic.
And of course, she talked about the apricot kernels.
Yes, exactly.
The apricot kernels have even more hydrocyanic acid. They're difficult to get hold of, obviously. They are now for sale, but to eat an apple seed is so much easier than to have to eat the apricot kernels, which is why I'm talking about more natural ways. But you can certainly get the apricot kernels from Philip Day's website, and I do recommend his book, and so many of the other doctors like Contreras, who uses lateral. But those things on their own won't cure cancer. You've got to detox. You've got to restore the deficiency of living enzymes. You've got to rehydrate the body, which is why Dr. Gerson talks about all the juices and also the colonics, because we must detox the body. And finally, we have to control stress, because stress causes cancer as well.
Karen's writing into us saying, "Hi Felicity, I'm suffering from bad hay fever, eyes, throat, asthma, lightheaded. It is quite awful. What can I do naturally to help with this, as over-the-counter remedies are not helping? I just bought the apricot kernels. Would they help? I don't know how to take them."
No, they won't. The apricot kernels are particularly, there's B17, and they are really for addressing cancer. If you really want to know how to get rid of the allergies, again, the patches, they've produced a patch which does stop the allergies, and I have the patches on my body right as I sit here. So definitely we can address the allergies. When you rebuild the immune system. When you rebuild the immune system, Si's being naughty here, I don't know what he's doing.
There you go, I'm just going to show you one of these patches there.
Karen, that's not the right one. He's holding up an energy patch, and that won't do it, darling.
All right, okay, here we go. Here's the variety.
Different patches which will actually build your immune system. Now, I do suffer occasionally from hay fever, and I can tell you that I just couldn't believe how wonderful this was when I put it on. And they work on, interestingly, the bladder meridian, which starts from here in the inside of the eye, goes right the way around the body. And when we address the thing from the spinal point of view, and our program today was on the spine. Yeah. So interestingly, when we get the meridians back in balance, that allergy will go. And you know, for years I had antihistamines, I had all these various pills and things I took, because we lived on a farm, and of course hay fever, you know, you're surrounded with hay. But this works, yes.
Great, so these are the, just to give you an idea.
And you can't buy them, folks. It's really important. You have to be trained to use these, so they're not on sale anywhere. You have to be trained and get them from a distributor.
Fantastic. Let's see what else we have in the emails today, Felicity. Hi, Felicity. I have 2 questions for you. Let's go through the first one. My friend's mum got polymyalgia.
Yeah.
Even the duvet's too heavy for her. Also has asthma and fever. Would a patch be good for her?
Absolutely, yes, but you've got to have the right patch. As I say, you have to be trained to use these patches, but they do work in an amazing way. This is Chinese medicine, this is traditional Chinese medicine, but without the needles, because we don't like needles, and this really does work, and so it's drug-free and so much better for the body, much better.
Okay, Tony sent us an email saying, "Hi Cyrus and Felicity, my wife has high blood pressure and under control. She wants to take sodium bicarbonate, but pharmacist has told her it's not safe because of the sodium, i.e. salt. Is that true?"
Yeah, you want to alkalize the body. So when I was working with Dr. Patrick Vickers recently, the Gerson therapy is a therapy where we detox, we do the juices, and you add potassium in. So potassium is particularly good, and you want to cut out the salt, especially the bad salts, because when people talk about salt, they think of the white sodium chloride in a salt shaker. The Himalayan rock salt is completely different.
He also Tony also continues to say, also, where does the aluminium come from in sodium bicarbonate? As now everyone is saying to buy aluminium-free sodium bicarbonate.
That's right, and there's a good one called Arm & Hammer. It's an American one, and you can get that in most organic shops and health food shops.
Okay, we have an email here from Michael. Do you agree with the surgeon who has said recently that it's good to drink 2 glasses of wine a day, and who prescribes it for patients in hospital?
Yes, I saw that on Facebook as well. Maybe he's being paid by the guys who actually make the red wine, I don't know, but certainly, as we all know, wine is acid in the body, and if you drink enough of it, you will fall down and pass out.
He continues to say, what if you needed more than 2? What if you needed more than 2 to eventually sleep at night, and then you become dependent on to drink the wine at night to sleep?
Absolute disaster, yes. Not a good idea.
Maybe too much singing and the neighbours will complain.
Indeed, yes.
Okay. Let's see. This is from Hayley. You mentioned the benefits of acupressure as opposed to acupuncture.
Yeah.
What are your views on reflexology?
Well, reflexology works on the feet, and it's a way of treating the rest of the body through the feet. And God has given us this amazing body with the energy meridians that have been completely neglected by our medicine at the moment in the West. And I believe that it's really good that we go for natural things without drugs, without needles. And if we can find something that will get us well, and we detox at the same time, because it's all this business of nutrition, exercise, water. You have to drink a lot of water, a lot of fresh juices. You know, you have to really address the whole thing, get fresh air, exercise as well to get well.
Okay, Joyce has sent us an email. Blessings and good health to you all. Felicity, is there any help for my pain? I have had 2 plates put in my lower back, and the surgeon said my nerves were squashed flat. He said the pains would not go, but should not get worse. I have had a fracture of the spine. Can you help?
Well, I do pray that the patches might help you, because I've also had one of my best friends who had a huge spinal operation and was in great pain, and it has worked for her. So I can't guarantee anything, and I don't sell these things. I can train people in it, and we've got a training day in London, we've got a training day in Spain tomorrow with a medical doctor, because as you know, I always have medical backup on everything that I do. And she's been using these patches for 5 years with great success in her medical practice. So I'm really interested, and having known a little bit about Chinese medicine from school, because I was at school with a Chinese girl who explained to me about it, and I thought it was a wonderful idea at the time. And this is without needles, so yeah, I'm really impressed. I'm seriously impressed.
Hi, Si and Felicity. I've just turned on an interesting that the back curl, uncurl I have been doing naturally when my back hurts. I've had a bad neck, so I sit on the bed and move the same way. Not as efficient, but good.
Great. Well, the thing is to gently start moving the spine, gently start separating those vertebrae, do it with a little warmth, you know, and never quick movement. You want to just relax and gradually get into exercising. So I hope that the clips were helpful.
So another one saying, what do you think if you have a high heart rate of 90 to 100? Can you still be doing these exercises?
Well, I think you must go and talk to your doctor, and I always suggest
I asked my GP, but not much help. That's what he says.
I think you have to be guided by how you feel when you're doing the exercises. You must always, if you have a heart problem of some kind, you must always be guided and be checked, maybe a naturopath, maybe a doctor, maybe a chiropractor, somebody who does understand natural medicine. So just gently move forward, that's the thing.
Good afternoon, Si and Felicity. I'm taking 20 apricot kernels per day as a preventative measure. Should I take them as a single dose, or should I spread them out through the day?
Well, I think you want to spread them out through the day. You can build up. It all depends on your height and your weight. If you read Philip Day's book, Cancer, Why We're Still Dying to Know the Truth, you'll see it all set out for you there.
Hi, Si and Felicity. Great program. The MRI scan report says that it's crushed discs, nerves, touching. Very painful. What can I do?
Oh, excruciatingly painful, I do know. Well, all you can do is see the doctor, see if they can improve anything, and look on my website, because I have written a little bit about the patches on the website. I only learned about this, as you know, a couple of months ago, but I'm very impressed, and I have a medical doctor who's using it in her medical practice, and so we're coming to train people in London. If you can get to London, that would be wonderful. And if you can look online, you can see a lot about it. And it is working, you know, it's worked for me, it's worked for thousands of people. I think it was developed in 2002, so it's not exactly a new thing, but it's new for me, and I think that it's a natural way, without drugs and without needles, of getting oneself out of pain.
Sue has actually sent us a tweet, so I'd just like to remind you we're on Twitter, so it's hashtag #GetWellStayWell, or you can tweet me directly to @CyrusFernando. Sue has sent us a tweet saying, great program as always, Si and Felicity. Felicity looks amazing today, absolutely glowing, doing a great job, and sends a kiss.
Thank you so much, Sue, that's really wonderful.
Felicity, where do you get your magnesium oil from?
Okay, I got mine from Israel, because we were on the Revelation visit there, and for 7 years, I've been to Israel 7 times already. Started many years ago when I took my daughter, and she was nursing and needed a little holiday, so we went to Israel then, and I just fell in love with the whole thing, and I bought the most beautiful magnesium oil then, so that's about 30 years ago, and you can still get it from Israel, so you get it from the Dead Sea, and it's a beautiful oil and wonderful for the body, because magnesium relaxes all the muscles, as you know.
Hi, Si and Felicity. My child is 5 and I stopped milk, but she eats cheese, etc. What alternatives can be used for proper growth, i.e. calcium and bones, to avoid osteoporosis?
Well, it's the plants that give the right calcium. So forget that milk causes, you know, healthy bones. That's just a terrible old wives' tale that is no longer true, and the scientists know that, so no doctor or dietitian should be telling you that. They should, you know, bring themselves up to date. So the best calcium in the world is from the green leafy vegetables. So this is going to be really healthy, and will also give the protein because it has the 10 amino acids that make up protein. So for our protein and our bones, we want to be on God's diet, as we should be on God's diet.
Which specific green leafy vegetables are the best, or would you recommend?
Well, the lettuce variety, the kale, you know, the curly kale. Broccoli, of course, is wonderful. The cruciferous vegetables. So, you know, there's a wonderful, wonderful selection out there of wonderful foods that are full of the right nutrients for our bodies.
Elizabeth has sent us an email. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Greetings. Can you suggest a healthier alternative to mayonnaise, which I use in my sandwiches to mix together egg, cress, tuna, sweet corn? Thank you. Right.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry.
I know. It sounds quite good.
I would suggest you do the honey lemon and oil, the olive oil or the coconut oil indeed, and that's what I use as my dressing now. So it's absolutely delicious, and once you've got used to that, you know, you go back to mayonnaise, you think, my goodness, that tastes awful. And we've all been addicted to these wrong things, haven't we? That's the problem. You know, for years and years we've been on the wrong things.
It's education at the end of the day. It's like we always say on our programme, isn't it? It's education, and hopefully programmes like this is advising and helping some of our viewers.
It's wonderful to be able to get out on television and tell the truth. You know, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm a divinity doctor, and I'm passionate about telling the truth about health, because I nearly died 11 years ago. I had a daughter die 25 years ago because we literally didn't know this truth, and so I'm passionate about it.
We have a viewer here asking, how can she have a consultation with you?
Well, we can do that by phone because a lot of people can't come over on the courses, and so I've just started doing that now, and people can email through my website, felicitycorbin-wheeler.org, and it's also hippocratesineurope.org, and there is an arrangement there that you just book, you reserve, and then I give you half an hour, a whole half hour, one-to-one, which is lovely.
We have an email here from Goodness, which is the most loveliest name. That's what a lovely name.
Yes.
Dear Cyrus and Felicity, could you please spare a few moments to talk about the Genesis diet? How does this help you to prevent conditions like fibroids?
Okay, yes, well, the Genesis diet is God's creation diet in Genesis 1:29 and 30. And God has given us the answer to what we should be eating. And it's the raw living enzymes. When we cook food, in fact, we cause leukocytosis in the body, and that's the white blood cells rush to fight the invader, and so that leads to inflammation in the body. But when I changed to the raw food diet, and I've now trained on that in America and around the world, it's amazing how people get well and stay well.
And what natural foods, or what are the best foods to help our spine, for example?
Well, again, you want to build the spine with the calcium, obviously, for the bones, and then you need the living enzymes for all the cells. Remember, we've got the lymph, we've got all the different areas of the spine. There's the muscles, there's the lymph, there's the bones, and so really when we get back on the Genesis diet, we're going to feed that, and also we're going to detox from the excitotoxins, the GM foods, the processed foods that have really taken over our diet, and that's why people are so ill in the West. You know, still in the areas of the world where people are on natural foods, they don't have the cancer rates we have, they don't have the heart problems, they don't have the diabetes. And when we get back to living nature's way, people heal.
Okay, Felicity, well, sadly, we've come towards the end of today's programme now. So thank you very much indeed for joining us. And also, thank you to our viewers. I've just seen an email here from Joe, who missed the first half of the show. Joe, I'd just like to remind you and to all our viewers that we have a catch-up service on Revelation TV. It's on our website. Just go to www.revelationtv.com and see Catch-Up Television. We're also on Twitter. It's twitter.com/RevelationTV. And we have some videos on YouTube as well. It's youtube.com/RTV Europe. So thank you so much for joining us today. We've discussed the spinal health. We've talked about how important it is to eat the right foods, to avoid the wrong foods, and to also exercise. Thank you so much for joining us. Same time, next time on Revelation TV. God bless. Bye.